let's jump right into this. Kennedy and Trump, number 29. A lot has been happening. Some more strikes on other channels, but we're still here on this one. So far, so good. And one day you may turn around and you'll see that the channel is gone. So you just never know. But I have also started a TikTok channel for the Kennedy and Trump saga. So this is what it is: Kennedy and Trump 2024. You pull that up, and this channel should come up here. I've been uploading new things on here, um, testing it out. There were a few that did get censored that are no longer here, as you will see, and those all had to do with medical misinformation. That is what I'm getting hit for still, and it's only related to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and it's very biased in some cases, but we're just going to roll with it. As many people may already know, RFK Jr. does have a book coming out. It was supposed to come out last Tuesday, and for some reason, it got pushed back to this Tuesday. So, this coming Tuesday, RFK Jr.'s new book will be out. It I don't even know what I can talk about or what I can't because of the same medical misinformation garbage that YouTube loves to throw at us. But the same garbage is, I'm finding that TikTok is kind of the same way. So they will remove things for the same reason. All of you know what I'm talking about. It's going to be a big challenge when I do this book, as I get about 50 pages deep into it right now, 50 pages that I'm happy with. Nothing is broken up into chapters or into pieces where it should be. But the lockdown chapter is going to be a bit of a challenge. And in some cases, it's going to be very freeing because I'm not going to have to worry about any censorship in the book, talking about the lockdowns, what caused it, and then everything else dealing with Anthony Fauci, the relationship between Anthony Fauci, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Donald J. Trump, which is a great story, but that's the one that I'm getting flagged on YouTube for, is for just replaying RFK Jr. telling the story about how he was hired by Trump back in 2017, I believe, to be on a vaccine task force. And everything did not go very well. But today is more about the three presidential nominees currently that we have for each party. Now, you may say that Republicans are still, weighing their options, but unless there's some massive thing that really happens, I believe Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for 2024. We already know, unless anything happens, Joe Biden will be the Democratic nominee for 2024. And of course, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now an independent, running as an independent for 2024 presidential election. The Republican primaries begin here in January of 2024. So that's when things will really kick off. Expect more silence from Joe Biden and the weak Democrat Party, and expect a lot more vocal trips, old school campaign tactics by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the independent, the strongest independent this country may have seen in a long time. And he talks about why he's running, what he's doing, and it is fascinating stuff. And maybe I'll go ahead and play a little bit of that to begin this off. I do want to take a look around everywhere and see what is going on with these two candidates, the only two legitimate candidates that I see: Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and President Donald J. Trump. So let me just pull this up. Team Kennedy on YouTube is what it is. I'm going to share the screen there so now you can see Team Kennedy on YouTube. It's got a few new videos that have come out since the last episode here, and so I'm just going to play a few of these. If you want to go see the full speech, it is right there on Team Kennedy's website. So I'm just going to look at my first campaign ad, really short, and then finding the middle ground. Let's play these two here.
House Republicans continue continue to fight. The left is a cult.
I don't want to hear it from Republicans. We'll beat the shit out of them. Helping your party. Anarchy across America. Radical Democrats. Republicans. Republicans.
Yeah, I was fed up too. And that's why I'm running for president of the United States as an independent. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I approve this message.
Very powerful without him really saying too much. I really enjoyed that one. Now I'm going to go and play. Oh, I didn't give that one away. Now I'm going to go and play. This one is just about a minute and a half here. Finding the middle ground. This one is really
You
good
announced
too.
in Philadelphia that you're going to run for president as an independent. You're from one of the most famous Democratic families of all time. How big a step was it to say, you know what, today, sorry, family, I'm going to have to take a step away?
It was very painful for me. I mean, I was raised in the Democratic Party. My father, my uncles were the leaders of the party. My great grandfather, Honey Fitz, was the first Irish Catholic mayor of Boston. My other great grandfather, Patrick Kennedy, was a ward boss for the Democratic Party in Boston. I think it's the right thing right now because we're seeing that, it's the same corporate donors that control both of the parties, and the parties are in paralysis. They cannot, within that party system, they're locked in this war with each other. They're polarizing the American public, and we need a strategy for unity. We need a strategy for bringing people together. And what I found traveling the country, even among the most extreme Democrats and Republicans, there's still more that we have in common than the issues that are being used to drive us apart. Everybody wants a clean environment. Everybody wants to take care of our veterans. Everybody wants our kids to have a good education. Everybody wants to make sure the regulatory agencies are serving the public interest instead of working for the corporations that they're supposed to regulate. And I think we need somebody who's going to find those areas of agreement, the values we agree on, rather than focus on these little issues that have us at each other's throats.
That was another great one. So there you have just some of the more recent things RFK Jr. has been talking about. Some new interesting things always happening here. And what I've been doing on the new TikTok channel, which I still can't believe that I'm there, but I am. And trying to reach as many people as we possibly can. So with this new TikTok channel, I just put out there's 4 videos here, not in order. I just put out number 1, actually number 0, well, really number 1. And then number 2 is over here, and then 3, and then 4. So these are the 4 videos that are really going to make up the bulk of the first part of the Kennedy and Trump book, because it's really interesting to hear both of these two candidates talk to each other, about each other, really about each other, not really so much to each other, but that is coming in the primaries, not in the primaries, in the general election. Now that RFK Jr. is not running as a Democrat, things, there's some good things and there's some bad things. Obviously, the bad thing is that we're still going to have to deal with sleepy Joe Biden. The good thing is that there's a good possibility that RFK Jr. could be on that debate stage in 2024. And if they do 3 debates, this could be really, really good. In some cases, you may see, 2 teaming on one, tag teaming on one, but I think more so you're going to have almost like two of your grandparents in the same room discussing, as in Kennedy and Donald J. Trump. Then you got some other weirdo, this crazy dude, sitting over there, and that's going to be Joe Biden. So I'm curious to see how all of this plays out, because it's going to be fascinating to picture a stage with all 3 of them on the same stage. Takes a little bit of the pressure off of Biden in some ways, and it's really going to beef up the pressure for Trump and for Kennedy. And what is Kennedy? What is he going to say? What is he going to do? Who is he going to go after? We know his tactics already, how he's going to go after these people. Nothing personal, but he's going to go after Trump for the lockdowns, and he's going to go after Biden for these wars. I think that's pretty clear. And so we'll see what the outcome of that is. And we'll see if they touch on the vaccines, the COVID, the lockdowns. I don't know. I hope that they do. I hope somebody asks about that. But we will see. But the big things will be the wars that are happening, closing our borders because of the wars, and how all that relates. But the other big thing is going to be, I think Kennedy is going to focus on the economy and how bad the country is, how poor we are now. And if this country, greatest country in the world, is suffering so much economically, then we can see how bad all these other countries, they must be much worse off in a lot of cases. It's hard to think of a country that is doing as good as us. And you can look at how people are struggling. The middle class is completely struggling, if there even is one left. We could argue that all day long. But instead of doing that, we can go and take a look at what are these guys doing on social media. So let's go first, take a look at Kennedy. I don't think there will be anything that new. He's kind of slowed it down since he it started to run for as an independent. He has slowed things down a little bit as far as the social media. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Maybe that's not true. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it just feels like that. But that's how it feels to me, is that he's kind of slowed things down a little bit. But so he posted this about 6 hours ago. This is from President John F. Kennedy. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. Very important there. Very good words. Kennedy also adds some other words. Old political alignments are disintegrating in our time. It used to be the left that pushed back against censorship, military spending, foreign wars, and corporate influence in government. Is it right or left to get toxic containment out of our food? If you don't know either, vote for me, because left or right or left, that's what I'm going to do. Get the toxic contaminations out of our food. Who could argue with that? So there you go. There you go here. Anything else? So there's him with his wife, October 12th. Thank you, Evangeline Lilly, for being with us for the announcement of my run as an independent candidate. Your support means so much to us. All right, so slowing it down. At least I feel like he's slowing it down. Doesn't mean that that's accurate. But going over here to Truth Social to look at what Trump is doing. Big win in Louisiana last night. A Republican replaces a Democrat governor. Nice. And that's definitely going to help to make sure there aren't any shenanigans when we go and vote in 2024. All right, there's an article related to that. Republican Jeff Landry projected to win Louisiana governor's race, ending 8 years of Democrat rule. Well, isn't that something? Isn't that special? Here's something from RSBN. At the end of another term, Trump envisions all new competent national security officials. Interesting. He's going to clean house, drain the swamp once again. Nothing wrong with that. President Trump leads Joe Biden by 9 points in Pennsylvania. We'll see how all that turns out. President Trump holds a 7-point lead over Joe Biden in Michigan. And President Trump beats crooked Joe Biden in Wisconsin. There you go. So the polls definitely do seem to favor, and public opinion to me does seem to favor Donald Trump over Joe Biden. But it's not hard to really beat Joe Biden. So here, let's see, Israel at war. This would be a good clip. I haven't really, I've been very disturbed by the war happening over there. Let me play.
Well, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. I mean, the product of that moment of peace you're talking about is the result of mother of all bombs being dropped on, terrorists in Afghanistan. It's a product of Qasem Soleimani being killed on the Baghdad airstrip. It's a product of ISIS being eradicated. When the previous administration said, oh, that would take us years or months to do, you unleash war fighters to kill them. Regimes that hate you see those things and say, now is not the time. That peace is a product of unpredictability and sheer lethality against you only bring peace. It's a slogan, but it's a reality on the ground, especially with Islamists. When you come in hat in hand, wanting to make deals with those people, and then you see what happened in Afghanistan, and then you see what happened in Ukraine, all it does is send the signals that now is the moment to move. Now is the moment to take our chance. Now, when did the planning for this attack in South Israel start? Not under the Trump administration. And that's not to make a partisan point. That's a real point about timelines. They looked around at the world and said, now is our time to exploit this opportunity. And they did just that.
Good point. I think he's right on the money with that. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, this is interesting. RFK, Donald Trump posted about 5 hours ago. So much for RFK being a Republican. This should be very interesting. Oh, I've got to.
I really do.
When was this? I missed this one. All right, I'm always excited. It's very rare that Trump actually even mentions RFK Jr. So this is going to be good.
I really do.
I know he's just replaying this. So it looks like RFK Jr. was on Hannity. I wonder when this was.
Appreciate your position on the border. You and I are in agreement. It's interesting because everybody's now trying to analyze, whether if there's a three-way race with you, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden, who would you more likely draw from? So I hope you don't mind, but I did a little research on you. You're pretty liberal. You've called for curbing, logging, oil drilling, fracking. You wanted to eliminate it. You called it a victory for democracy. You want to curb U.S. fossil fuel extraction. Keep it in the ground, you once tweeted. You want a ban on fossil fuel extraction, a ban on fracking. You called the NRA once a terror group. You've supported over the years Democrats, Gore, Kerry, Obama, Hillary. You've praised Bernie Sanders multiple times. You support affirmative action. So why is this party of yours, why didn't they even want to allow you to compete? Because that's as pretty liberal of a record as anybody I know.
You have a litany of talking points from statements I've made over 40 years. Some of them are stale. Some of them I never said. But, what is your question? Why the Democratic Party? Why I'm not running at the Democratic Party?
Why did they kick you out?
I feel like.
I mean, by the way, I'm giving you comments that you've made in 2016, 17, 19. Endorsements. We know the years Gore, Kerry, Obama, Hillary, Bernie Sanders. They're all recent quotes. The NRA quote you made about calling them a terror group was 2018. So these are recent positions you've had. That I'm not sure why the Democratic Party wouldn't allow you to compete.
Do you want to talk about my position, Sean?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to read talking points from the Trump campaign?
Well, excuse me. These are not talking points. These are called Hannity points. I do my own.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. If you want to read talking points from the Trump campaign, it's getting a little heated here. I like it. I think now, and this is one thing that people have been talking about this, that the Republicans are going to be the ones to go after him. The Republican leaning, the conservative leanings are going to be the ones to go after him more forcefully. When I'm talking about him, I'm talking about RFK Jr. And we're seeing some of that now. This is very interesting because remember, Kennedy has been on Hannity a couple times. They even did a whole town hall, and I thought Hannity was very respectful. So this is a little interesting. There's a little more tension here in this back and forth. This is good stuff.
Research.
No, but I saw that same list published this morning by the Trump campaign. It's the exact same list.
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
and again, if you want to know what my position is on any issue, I'm happy to talk to you about it.
On those positions, you come off, and this is not an insulting thing. You are historically very left of center, very liberal, and I agree with you. Your party treated you horribly. I think you deserve better. I don't like the way your own family even treated you. I thought, if they don't agree with you, they can disagree. But I didn't like what they said about you. To be honest, I think you're being honest in your positions, but I don't think you can convince any conservative that you have any conservative leanings except for a couple of issues. Maybe some conservatives would agree on the border. Maybe some would agree on your vaccine policy, especially with COVID. Where else would you say you're conservative?
Well, I wouldn't describe myself at this point as part of the conservative.
See, part of the problem is they want to put Kennedy inside of their two-party system boxes. And this is why a lot of people don't like Sean Hannity, even conservatives, right? Because he's just all about our team, our team, our team. And I think Trump has gotten caught up in that too, turning it into us against them, our team against their team. And I think the only reason why it hasn't affected Trump so much is because his team has turned against him too. The Republicans have turned against Trump just as much as the Democrats, who he used to be aligned with, have turned against him too. So he's seeing all sides of it. President Trump is seeing all sides of this. And President Trump is obviously watching closely. He posted this on Truth Social recently, and I got to go and find when RFK Jr. was on this, and then we'll go look at what did the Trump campaign say about RFK Jr. Are they going after him? Because that's a bad move, I think. Just as Ron DeSantis going after Trump is a bad move, Trump going after RFK Jr. is a bad move. Trump is too smart for that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes. I had no idea that I was going to cover this. I'm very, very excited about this interview here.
Ideology or the Democratic ideology, I would describe myself as part of that common sense ideology. If you ask me, Sean, about any particular issue, I'm happy to tell you what I feel about it. And I also am happy to listen to other people's opinions about it.
All right, I'll ask you. Do you still believe the NRA is a terror group?
I support the Second Amendment like I do all the amendments to the Constitution, and I'm not going to
ask you if you support the Second Amendment. You called in 2018, you said Parkland students are right. The NRA is a terror group. Do you believe that?
I don't consider the NRA a terror group.
Do you regret tweeting that in 2018?
Well, I don't recall tweeting it in 2018, but if I did, as I said, Sean, I don't consider them a terror group, and I support the Second Amendment.
Do you regret?
And this is another thing that I love about Kennedy. Unlike very few people in politics or even in the world of business or anywhere, lawyers, wherever, Kennedy is willing to admit that he's wrong and to look at what is right and do the right thing. That's what he did with the border wall. And I think he's going to be open to doing that towards a lot of other topics too, that he may have been wrong on. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. We're all going to be wrong at some point. So that's one thing that I really do appreciate. One of the many things that I do appreciate about RFK Jr. He's not afraid to be wrong.
Endorsing Al Gore, John Kerry, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders over the years.
I don't recall endorsing Bernie Sanders. I like Bernie Sanders. I voted for Barack Obama. I don't regret that. I don't. There's a lot of things about those candidates, the candidates who won, that I was disappointed in. I think that, we need to wind down the war machine abroad.
That was a common thing because there were a lot of people that I know who voted for Barack Obama and thought that he was going to bring in this great change, this great hope, and it didn't happen. And all that really happened was, I think a lot of people had to check themselves and think, did I vote for somebody because of his race? And does that make me a racist? That's what I would be asking if I were them.
And I don't think, and I supported Hillary, and I don't think that as Secretary of State that she lived up to those expectations. So, but I'm not going to say that I didn't. I supported them then. I supported what they believe in. I think I have a common sense approach to politics. And I'm happy, as I said, to talk to you about any of the issues.
No, listen, I'd love to do another town hall with you. I actually enjoyed our time together. Do you stand by your position that you've held at least since 2012 and through 2019 that I have quotes for, banning fracking and banning oil and fossil fuel extraction?
I've never believed in banning oil or banning fossil fuel extraction. What I've said is that those industries need to internalize their costs. In other words, it's that carbon is the most heavily subsidized energy source. There's $5.2 trillion of subsidies that go to big carbon every year, and that doesn't include even the oil wars. That in a real free market economy, the cost of those wars would be reflected in the price of gasoline when you got to the tank. The reason that I oppose fracking is because it's poisoning water supplies. I've watched the water supply in Dimock, Pennsylvania, where people turned on their faucets, Sean, and they could light a match there. We don't want to poison people. And if fracking's doing that, then
it's the lifeblood of the world's economy.
Those people for the cost.
And we don't have any real alternatives that are efficient and cost effective as of now. We'd love to have you back.
That absolutely is not true. That just is not true.
Of course it's true.
That's not true. And I'm happy to talk to you about it. If you give
All
me
right,
a
well,
chance
I'll tell you
to
what, we'll
talk
bring you
next
back.
time, maybe.
And I'd love to, maybe we'll do another hour together if you're up for it. I'd be up for doing that. That'd be great.
That's good. I like that. I liked everything that I saw there. That's interesting. And this was posted 6 hours ago by Trump on Truth Social. So much for RFK being a Republican. Yeah, I want to hear that hour. I want to hear all of that. But this is really interesting here. So we'll see. We'll see where Trump goes with this. Is he going to start going after Kennedy? I'm curious. That's the closest that I've seen to Trump saying anything negative about RFK Jr. Okay, just one more that I want to cover, and that's it. I'm going to make this one really short. I actually just want to go and see if what RFK Jr. was saying, I want to see if that is here somewhere. Or where was that released? Where did the Trump administration, where did they put that out about Kennedy? Not seeing that. He said this morning. Today is the 15th. I'm not seeing anything like that here, but let's see. This is the 15th. Let's see anything here so far. It's all about Ron DeSantis. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything like that. Let me go back to maybe that was from the 14th. Let's go see what anything on the 14th. And I get all of Trump's newsletter stuff, and I missed that one. So I'm curious where the Trump campaign is putting that out about Kennedy. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it here. So, yeah, nothing there. Nothing there. Let me just check this last one. Dominating primary. I don't see anything like that there. So, very curious. Very curious to see about. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'll have to come back to that. Maybe see if it's covered anywhere here. News coverage. The year to run as an RFK has a year to run as an independent. RFK visits Augusta, says he will end economic downturn as president. RFK Jr. campaigns in Orlando. Where is this thing about Trump administration? I have to look it up before we go. Trump administration. It's out. RFK Jr. Everything comes up here. Trump hits. It's independent candidate. Don't know. I'm not seeing any. Sorry, I'm not seeing anything like that. So I may have missed it. I probably did. And all right, I don't know. Campaign. It's going to show. I'm just reading something on CNN to see. Voters should not be deceived by anyone who pretends to have conservative values. The fact is that RFK has a disturbing background steeped in radical liberal positions. Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung told CNN. Okay. Let's see what we can find about this guy. If there's anything here. Independent. I'm just not seeing it. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper, I guess. Turns out, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. All right, I'll have to go find that. Anyways, I'm a little baffled by that, but that's all right. All right, shutting this one down. And until next time, God bless you all. I'll be back.